Now on CoastTV News.
The next phase of work for Route 1 in Conway begins. Which road is closing now as new ones are built? Georgetown Circle changes. What about memorials? Council is discussing Monday. A celebration of culture, how Georgetown comes alive at the Festival Hispano.
This week, we're expecting it to get a little bit warmer than norm for this time of the year, especially for this first week of fall.
This is CoastTV News at 11.
Good evening. I'm Madeline Overturf. Thank you for staying up with us after Sunday night football. Starting Monday, Nassau Road in Lewes will close for over a month. That's part of the multi-year project to revamp Route 1 around Conway Road. Take a look at this. DelDOT's plans show two roundabouts, one at Nassau and New Road and one at Janus Road, so you'll be able to cross Route 1 without going on the highway. CoastTV News reporter Emma Aiken was with DelDOT this summer when they unveiled the full plans. She shows us what's in store for the 5 Points area for the next few years.
Trying to cross Route 1. For drivers in Sussex County, it's a daily danger. That's why DelDOT celebrated the start of a 3-year improvement project that would get rid of 8 east and west crossovers on Route 1 and add 3 roundabouts in Lewes. DelDOT Cabinet Secretary Shantae Hastings says this will basically create a service road network. This video from DelDOT shows what the area of Conway Road, Nassau Road, and Old Mill Road look like now. But watch this. A new service road pops up west of Route 1 with a roundabout to get onto Conway without even touching the highway.
Through this project, you will no longer be able to do those cross movements from Route 1. You'll be getting off onto the service roads and then connecting under Route 1 to do those movements. So it just reduces conflict points, and conflict points are typically where you see crashes.
And for those that prefer to walk or bike, DelDOT says the project will also add 2 miles of new pathways for cyclists and pedestrians to improve that. One of those cyclists is Ray Quillen. He knows firsthand the dangers of Route 1.
They put the trail in here. I was almost hit trying to cross Route 1 on one of the median strips.
He's excited for this project to drive forward.
It's amazing that we're finally starting on it, and some people say, oh, it'll be 3 years. Well, it's at least it's being done.
Route 1 on the road to transformation. For CoastTV News, I'm Emma Aiken.
Now, DelDOT estimates all of the work will be done in 2028. We have much more on all these projects right now on CoastTV.com. An accident involving a tractor trailer and a car kept Georgetown firefighters busy Sunday. This was around 12 p.m. Sunday at Route 113 and Route 9. You can see the damage there. We have reached out to Georgetown Police for reports on any injuries, but have not heard back just yet. On Tuesday, Sussex County Council will discuss and possibly introduce an ordinance related to marijuana establishments. This comes 2 weeks after CoastTV was told Governor Matt Meyer's office reached out to Sussex County Council to possibly make a change to current regulations to zoning marijuana stores. Right now, all marijuana stores in Sussex must be 3 miles away from schools and churches. A vetoed bill called for that to go down to 500 feet. On your screen now are the 4 retail dispensaries in Sussex County. Note Frankfort, though, that's within town limits. Lewes, Rehoboth, Georgetown, all those stores are outside of town or city limits.
I like the restrictions they have on it so that like high schoolers or middle schoolers can't easily walk to the dispensaries.
Again, a potential ordinance to change that could be brought up as early as Tuesday, according to Sussex County Council's agenda. Thousands of people gathered Sunday in Georgetown for the 31st edition of the Festival Hispano. North Race Street was filled with vendors, food, and people wearing their country flags, all celebrating the Hispanic culture. Local and international artists also had the crowd dancing.
It feels incredible to be here surrounded by your own culture, your food, your people, your language, especially in a time like this to show everyone we're not going anywhere. We're going to stay right here and celebrate ourselves.
After covering all event expenses, organizers donate to local nonprofits. Cycling is very popular on the coast, and a recent study suggests it could be good for your brain health. Researchers found those who cycled had a 19% lower risk of all-cause dementia and a 22% lower risk of Alzheimer's disease. The study also found cycling was associated with greater volumes of the region of the brain that's responsible for memory and learning. Experts not involved with the study warn that research is observational, meaning it can't prove that cycling directly prevents dementia, but it does show an association. Sunday was the last day on duty for many lifeguards, including in Ocean City and Rehoboth Beach. Lifeguards say, of course, use caution when you're swimming as the beach patrol season comes to a close. Georgetown Town Council is set to hear an idea on how to honor memorials in the circle after being hit by cars. An outcry on the idea that the memorials, including for fallen Officer Chad Spicer, would move elsewhere. That's not happening anymore. These are images of when Spicer's memorial and that honoring former Chief Harvey Gregg were knocked down. The Georgetown Circle Committee is recommending the memorials be placed further from the road and closer to the fountain on the circle. This recommendation comes after months of review.
The Circle Committee has done is moved from their original locations, which were in harm's way, obviously, and kind of offset those from the traffic as it enters the circle. So just that in and of itself will add a layer of safety, not only to the monument, but to the people who may be visiting the monument.
The committee is also recommending that plaques and memorial bricks be placed in the circle. Again, that recommendation goes in front of council Monday night in Georgetown. A new task force founded by Delaware lawmakers is looking for feedback from small restaurateurs. They want input from small restaurant owners, food trucks, and child care facilities with kitchens. So if you've ever faced hurdles with state or local agencies, like with a startup challenge, a permit delay, inspections, or day-to-day operations, the task force wants you to complete a survey to help shape policy. It's open until October 1st. Heads up, drivers in Milford, lane closures are coming to 113. That's specifically between North Front Street and Kings Highway in Milford. DelDOT says work will last through mid-November as crews make bridge repairs in the area. After decades of planning, the North Millsboro bypass is finally ready to open. DelDOT will hold a ribbon cutting Monday, September 22nd at 10:30. The road fully will open on Tuesday. The bypass is 2.4 miles, stretching from 113 to 24. The goal is to ease congestion in downtown and getting all that beach and truck traffic out of there. Hundreds of people brought their orange to Cape Henlopen State Park for the 17th annual Kidney Walk. CoastTV was a proud sponsor, and I was honored to MC the event. It was fun for the whole family and full of people honoring those who are fighting kidney disease or have lost their battle to it. Organizers say this is so important as most people don't even know that kidney disease is the 8th leading cause of death in the U.S. That's actually higher than breast cancer.
Out of those 37 million folks that are estimated to have kidney disease, about 90% of them don't know it. So that's 1 in 7 people don't know that they have kidney disease. So high blood pressure, diabetes, especially if you've got either of those 2 risk factors, you've got to get those kidneys checked.
This year's walk raised about $47,000. Tens of thousands of supporters attended Charlie Kirk's Memorial Sunday. Organizers say more than 200,000 people registered. That far exceeds the nearly 74,000 seat limit inside the State Farm Stadium and the Overflow Arena. Mary Bell Gonzalez was there and shows us how the conservative activist was honored.
Tens of thousands of people packing State Farm Stadium in Glendale, Arizona Sunday to say their final goodbyes to assassinated political activist Charlie Kirk. Lines of mourners wrapping around the block to get in.
I need to mourn Charlie, and I wanted to be with fellow patriots.
We're here to honor a great man that was a man of God.
Several high-profile Republican leaders, including President Donald Trump, speaking at Kirk's memorial.
America is a nation in grief, a nation in shock, and a nation in mourning.
The conservative political activist and founder of Turning Point USA was shot and killed earlier this month while speaking at Utah Valley University. He leaves behind a wife and 2 young children. His widow speaking out Sunday.
I saw the wound that ended his life. I felt everything you would expect to feel. I felt shock. I felt horror and a level of heartache that I didn't even know existed.
In a powerful moment, she forgave her husband's alleged killer.
I forgive him because it was what Christ did.
Federal and local law enforcement beefing up security ahead of Sunday service. The Department of Homeland Security designating the service as a special event assessment level 1, which is reserved for major events like the Super Bowl and Kentucky Derby.
High-profile events such as this actually, when they're coupled with significant media attention and attendee profile, really present a very attractive target for somebody with malicious intent.
Kirk's memorial comes as political figures are increasingly worried about threats and attempted attacks. The White House recently asked for $58 million in more security funding for executive and judicial branch employees. This is a memorial, but for Turning Point USA, it's also an opportunity to organize. Here, it's registered voters and handed out these flyers about their annual conference. Turning Point USA was a major force in President Trump's re-election, and the organization is hoping to continue its work in the wake of its leader's passing. Reporting in Glendale, Arizona, I'm Maribel Gonzalez.
Monday morning on Coast TV News, energy rebates for Marylanders, what Governor Wes Moore is doing to start the work week. And then Lewes paid parking, a look at how the first town is one of the last in this regard. That's coming up Monday evening here on Coast TV News.
Well, we will be warming up nicely this work week. I'll show you just how high temperatures will go in a moment.
And after that, we take you to Maryland's Folk Festival, what made this year extra special. We're back in just 60 seconds.
Well, get ready. We're getting ready to kick off fall in a wonderful, almost summer-ish kind of a way because temperatures are expected to be a little bit above the norm for this time of the year. Considering it's fall, it'll feel like it in the morning time and maybe not so much in the afternoon. Where we are right now is we're in tranquil conditions at this present time, and temperatures right now in that 50s to low 60s category, 59 in Milton, 59 in Dagsboro, and we're holding at 59 degrees right now in Bridgeville. Overall, we're warm to about 72 degrees. Real cool over the weekend, particularly for Sunday. And then as we go into next week, looks like we're going to have a bit of a warming trend. Now, another thing we're keeping a close eye on is about the precipitation. I mean, precipitation-wise, we're just about a half inch below our norm for this time of the year for the month. Now, for the year, we're about 4.5 in the good or excess, okay? So overall, from a yearly standpoint, we're not necessarily missing out on anything. Coastal flood statement has been activated for the folks in the Cambridge area, and so just kind of a more of a just-in-case type of thing. We have very gusty and blustery conditions for the beaches, West Ocean City, and that's going to stay in effect until about 8 o'clock for Monday. And then as we go a little bit more to the north, rip current statement is active for us for South Bethany Beach, Fenwick Island, Ocean View, all the way up towards Lewes, as well as Rehoboth Beach. And small craft advisory active until 2 o'clock. Now, what this simply means is that we're watching out for 25-mile-per-hour wind gust at the very least, and somewhat possibility of some beach erosion happening down towards Ocean City. Generally speaking, hey, we're staying real quiet at this particular juncture for this part of the country, and we have messier weather that's going to slowly walk its way towards us by the end of the work week. But for Monday, Tuesday, and most of Wednesday, we should stay relatively dry. Winds out of the northeast, 79 for the high, Georgetown, Millsboro, Seaford, as well as Laurel. Now we'll warm to about 76 degrees for Cambridge as well as Easton, and then we'll get up to about 77, Snow Hill and Berlin, and 76 for the high, Ocean City. For Monday, as we kind of canvass what's going on along the entire coast, winds out of the northeast, temperatures in the mid to lower 70s. Sort of a banner day for a fall-like kickoff for the week. For the afternoon, we'll be in the 70s, 79 in Seaford and Delmar, 80 actually in Salisbury. Tuesday, we start off a little cloudier, and temperatures start off in the 60s, but then we'll bounce nicely into the 80s by the afternoon hours, and winds will be shifting out of the south by the time we get to Tuesday. By the way, Gabrielle, Category 1 hurricane, expected to strengthen to a Category 3 before it's all said and done. But she's far away from us. Here, we're talking about more than 700 to approaching 800 miles away. So not an immediate concern. Finally, here's a look at your extended forecast. First day of fall, that's on Monday. Well, today, and That's how we go. But we'll have temperatures in the 80s for the rest of the work week, bracing for a chance of scattered showers and thunderstorms for Thursday going into Friday and possibly leaning into Saturday. Overnight lows will stay in the 60s, so this first week of fall is going to be more summer-ish than fall-like.
Okay, Paul, thank you. The third annual Maryland Folk Festival returned to Salisbury. According to festival organizers, the event brings together about 250 of the nation's finest traditional musicians, dancers, craftspeople, and more.
One of the most amazing things about this festival is some of the fusion music that has been here. So there's been lots of salsa dancing, as well as reggae, funk, hip hop, all kinds of different acts.
The festival was also entirely free. A space in downtown Lewes is staying that way. As the city of Lewes now owns the 4th Street Forest, let's take a look at what the property is now and will stay as plans to shape the new preserve begin.
Birds sing in a forest canopy. A butterfly lounges in the sunshine. Cicadas chirp. These are the sights and sounds in the 4th Street Preserve, the oldest deeded property in Lewes.
To me, like, what's really beautiful about this forest is how the light comes through the trees, and you can just see all of the plant life. You can just see how this property looked 350 years ago.
This is the last open space in Lewes city limits, home to wildlife, including a bald eagle's nest.
This is the 22-acre parcel, and then this is the 7-acre parcel on this side of 4th Street.
This will be Delaware's first urban forest.
A lot of talk is about mental health now and mental aspects of people, and an opportunity to just come and enjoy an area of peace and quiet, of solitude, natural habitat, educational opportunities this would provide. All of those amenities would be another asset for the community as a whole.
One of the plans for this parcel is to build a walking trail somewhere in the over 25 acres here. Now, the exact location of that trail, that's to be determined, but organizers say it will be sure to not disturb any wetlands, wildlife, or even the surrounding neighborhoods.
There will be no parking lots, no bathrooms, but it'll be a place where people can come and really kind of get away from the traffic, from the busyness of city life.
A space of peace and quiet in downtown Lewes.
4th Street Preserve is officially owned by the city of Lewes now after $8 million of fundraising efforts the city settled on Monday. The Greater Lewes Foundation and the city of Lewes is working together to develop a full plan for the preserve. Still to come on Coast TV News, help from HAP, when you can take care of your pet quickly and cheaply, coming up. The town of Greenwood is celebrating its successful Greenwood Day, saying everybody came together for music, food, and fun, and a town-wide yard sale. I know a lot of our viewers have families, and pretty much everybody can agree. Parenting is hard. Adding communication, that is extra challenging. Melody Mendez spoke with the parenting coach and shares a few phrases you can add to your toolkit to help communicate with your children and succeed as a parent.
I believe you is diffusing shame, and that's huge because we use shame so sneakily in our discipline, and it just makes them feel worse about themselves in the moment.
Instead, you want to make them feel understood. Reem Rauda is a leading voice in conscious parenting and the mom of a strong-willed 7-year-old.
Let's figure this out together. This one is magical for me. It's problem solving to get them mentally stimulated, and they forget that they're being, ordered or commanded or demanded to do something. You can feel this. I'm right here.
She says this is where parents often get stuck because
we don't want our children to feel in pain or even angry or frustrated sometimes, and we just want that feeling to go away.
But when we try to stop their emotions, they don't just go away, she explains. Kids just shove them inside. So
the best gift we can give our children is to allow them to feel their feelings. I'm listening. Just Those two words are huge because most kids don't feel listened to. They just have to listen, but do they feel truly listened to and truly respected?
Don't confuse this for coddling. We are their parents. Our job is to guide them, she says, and to be on their team.
I hear you. I'm on your side. Means the world when they do something bad. We go against them. Just to know that we are on the same team. It's not you against me. It's us together against the problem. I got you no matter what. That's their number one core need is unconditional love without conditions, that they can screw up, they can mess up, they can make a mess, but our love doesn't go anywhere.
Now, Reem adds this reminder. These are magic phrases. They're not an overnight solution. You need to use them over and over again to build up trust. And from there, of course, attitude and approach is a big part of getting anyone to want to cooperate. After the break, here on Coast TV News, fall allergy fails. 6 things to do to prevent the seasonal troubles. Nearly 1 in 3 adults and more than 1 in 4 children in the country report having a seasonal allergy, and experts say climate change might actually make symptoms last longer and more severe. In tonight's Health Minute, Mandy Gaither explains why fall can be a surprisingly tough time for allergy sufferers and how to manage symptoms.
If you think seasonal allergies only bloom in spring, think again. As the leaves change color, those allergens pollinate and continue to be in the air until the first hard frost.
Fall allergens are still just as intense and can elicit all of the same symptoms.
Dr. Jessica Huey with National Jewish Health says those symptoms can include nasal congestion, runny nose, and itchy, watery eyes. Huey says this season can be one of the toughest times to get those symptoms under control.
Finally, the weather's cooler, so you're going outside, you're doing yard work, you're keeping your windows open in your home. Well, all of these are exposing you to pollens.
To help stop that exposure, Huey says to change clothes after being outdoors, shower to get pollen off your skin and out of your hair, keep windows shut as much as possible, especially bedroom windows. Avoid going outside in peak pollen times from late morning to mid-afternoon. Clean the vents in your home and change air filters.
These are all things that not only are great for your home, but can get rid of the different allergens that have kind of accumulated there throughout the year.
And if you're already feeling those fall allergy symptoms, Huey says over-the-counter and prescription nasal sprays can help, as can oral medications like antihistamines.
Just know you have a toolbox and you have strategies to really try to limit the amount of pollen exposures that you have.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Dr. Huey says also keep in mind fall activities do expose you to allergens, like going to a pumpkin patch or hayride can cause exposure to molds that are found in hay, leaves, or damp areas. Check this out. Firefighters in Salisbury responding to a tractor-trailer fire on the bypass. While crews battled the fire, the department said just take caution in that area. After the break here on Coast TV News, we'll have one more check on your forecast after this. Humane Animal Partners in Rehoboth Beach is offering express and low-cost vet clinics Wednesdays this fall. HAP says the clinics will have vaccines, microchipping, heartworm flea prevention, and more, starting at $25. The next wellness day is Wednesday the 24th, but you do have to make an appointment. Hey, we are celebrating marching bands this fall. The Delmarva Sports Network is covering 6 marching band competitions with over a dozen schools from across the peninsula. These competitions will stream exclusively on DSN+.
All right, let's take a look outside right now in Salisbury. Everything's very quiet at this point. Now, we have a couple of advisors we want to walk through real quick, just as a reminder. First and foremost, we do have for Rehoboth Beach as well as Lewes Beach, rip current statement that's active until 7 o'clock for Monday. That's active also for Dewey Beach. And in addition to that, we have a small craft advisory bracing for 25-mile-per-hour wind gusts. Now, that's kind of working in tandem with each other. Now, in addition to that, we have another small craft advisory in effect from Ocean City down towards Chincoteague. And in addition to that, a beach hazard statement that's going to stay active until 8 o'clock Monday for Ocean City all the way down. On the other side of the peninsula, we do have an active coastal flood statement that's going to stay active at least until 5 o'clock in the morning. But overall, we're still quiet at this present time. Temperatures will be in the 70s for Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. We'll progress and get a little bit warmer as we progress throughout the week. We'll go from 75 to 79 from Monday through Wednesday in Fenwick Island. And then for Lewes, we're going to get up to 82 on Tuesday with a chance of rain trying to develop on Wednesday. Keep up with your forecast by calling our weather line. The number to call is 443-880-9100. Your forecast is just a call away, sponsored by the law offices of Brugstead, Mandalis, and Federico. Finally, here's a look at your exclusive 10-day forecast. Now, just in case you didn't know, Monday, it kicks off the first day of fall, but we're going to feel more summer-ish than fall-like, actually. 85 on Tuesday, 84 on Wednesday, and 82 on Thursday and Friday, all of those above the norm for this time of the year. But we will have a chance of scattered showers beginning to move into the area, particularly for Thursday going into Friday and Saturday, with a chance of isolated thunderstorms, particularly in the afternoon hours, similar to a summer-like pattern. So be mindful of that, and we'll lean into possibly early Saturday morning with a chance of scattered showers leaning there. But next week, we're going to feel more like fall because we'll stay in the 70s for next Monday, next Tuesday, and next Wednesday.
Paul, thank you, and thanks for joining us here for Coast TV News after Sunday Night Football. For more news and local weather, you can download our Coast TV News app. We'll see you in just a few hours for Coast TV News today. It starts at 5. Have a great night.